All right, probably not the most expected duo to see talking to each other at a Perform Better training summit. But the reality is, and he knows this, and I think the first time we talked about it was in Austin, Texas, where most people would have no idea that we probably talk, whether it's text or on the phone, sometimes 4 or 5 times a week. And I think I'm proud that probably surprises people, because it's about having depth to a relationship. And you don't always have to agree on anything, because if you got 5 other things that get you excited, you can have a genuine relationship and a genuine friendship. I think the first time you started to ask me a lot about superheroes when you would bring your daughters around, because it would be cool to them that I scroll on the phone and show them a picture of me and Thanos. I don't know that I've worked with as many Avengers as Don, but there's a lot of Marvel characters that I've worked with. In fact, at one point, there was a set of room keys. I don't know if I ever told you this story. There was a set of room keys that was handed to me at a Disney hotel. Of course, Avengers and Disney, all the same, so you can find the links. Dr. Weingroff, we have this package here for you. It was the room keys, and it said courtesy of Marvel Studios. So this isn't all made up, but superheroes is a thing that we have in common, not just for Martin's daughter. Look, we talk about MMA, we talk about fighting. I have a history there, and not just rehabbing some of the folks that you work with. But the whole notion of superheroes is obviously it's like embedded in American, and like all superheroes have like a story arc, and they're usually flawed, and that's why they're superheroes, so they can change their identity and do what they want to do. And that brings me to Martin's project, nothing to do with fitness, but the book that you have here in your hand. Go ahead, tell them.
So obviously what Charlie's saying right there is, hey, we've known each other for well over a decade now, and oftentimes we meet at events like this. There'll be some giant fitness event, and here's us talking about what we're talking about currently, what we see in fitness or strength and conditioning. Both of us have rehab backgrounds, powerlifting backgrounds, and everybody would think maybe we connected on that. But what's funny is two of the things, it's not just the Marvel stuff, but then, hey guys, I'm sure you guys probably know he's a Disney maniac. And hey, being a dad of 4 daughters, Disney was this huge thing for them, but there was this period of time where my kids were Marvel, maniacs. And it was really cool for me to say, hey girls, look at this picture and that picture. And they were so fired up. But I think what Charlie's talking about too, and I don't know if it's true to you, the listener, but I would not be where I am if there weren't superheroes and comics. And my dad, a great story, and I don't tell you this, every Tuesday my dad would ride the train home from work, and he would go to this one magazine stand, and he would pick me out a comic book. And I'm talking, this is when they were 15 cents, 25 cents. We're talking the 1970s. And the funny joke became, every day my dad came home, I'd always say, is it Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? Because I always wanted another comic book, and I still have them. And that was like this journey for me of being stronger, the journey for me of being a hero or strength. And in particular, and what Charlie alluded to is, hey, a lot of people know us for fitness, but hey, we have these other passions too. And I have a passion for writing, and I just did, hey guys, this is an action thriller novel, but what's really interesting about it is when I decided to write it, I wanted to write a new type of anti-hero, and that's who this character is. But the thing that I like the most, and I would wonder what you think on this, what I love most about superhero movies, I like the origin story, or at least the origin portion of it, right? I like, where did they come from? How did they get their powers? What was their big challenge that then shaped them and who they are? And the movies that do that the best get me the most amped up. So this book is an origin story wrapped in this conspiracy theory, and has science, and you'll feel the strength and conditioning in it too. But it is also so far from what people know me for, because they know me for coaching or motivation and culture. Guys, this thing, put on a seatbelt, because you're going to go for a wild ride. But
this character is not as loud as you, right?
This character's not loud, but this character is nasty, right? Because my background with fighting and all the other things is in there. And hey, and I can tell this, and you're going to like this a lot. A buddy of mine, one of my best friends, got cancer. And I didn't know if he was going to make it. And I would go up into New York City, and I would fly up and stay with him and see him. And he was doing 30-day fasts, trying everything scientifically he could do to starve this thing out of him. And there was a point he had lost over 100 pounds. And one day we were in this place called the Hope Lodge, and that had a library there. And he says, dude, you read so much. Pick me out a book, man. Like, pick me out a book. I'm losing my mind. And I said, pick you out one. How about I write one, and as it's going, you read it with me, right? And that's where this thing was born. So this story is about a guy that's got cancer, and he stumbles upon that there's some real things going on, that there are possible cures, other stuff happening by the global elite. And because he stumbles on this, they come after him, and they think he's a cancer patient, but this is the wrong hero to come after. And now he starts cutting them down, trying to get to the head of the snake. And so people love the story part of it. They love the origin, because you got to find out where this guy came from and who he is. And but it's got that anti-hero feel, where what I always love too is it's the hero that didn't want to be, right? Like, you know, and most of these guys, when you see a hero, they didn't want to, that wasn't what they chose to be, it's what they became.
Think of Batman and why, you know, what happened to him to become this thing.
Or Daredevil, or, you know, Superman, all of them. You know.
But it's interesting, the character embodies what I described before, which was layers.
Yeah.
And layers are interesting. Again, it's where you can, if you happen to lose touch or don't agree on one thing, you have all these other things, so you maintain interest, and that's interesting. And you know, when you first started telling me about this, and this is obviously, you know, books don't have hardcovers in one day. This has been a long time coming. When you talk, the first time when somebody says anti-hero, I think of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't think that's the character.
No.
The next one I would think of is the Punisher, and there's a little bit of like
definite similarities there. I would say, or even again, like, how would you? The Punisher would be a great concept, at least of it's this reluctant hero, and what he's doing, some wouldn't say is good, but yet he's doing what is right for him because of his code.
Fast and Furious, or have a little anti-hero because it's all about family, right? I can't do the silly deep voice, you know. But they're car thieves. I mean, they're thieves.
Yeah.
So there's an anti-hero there, but the Punisher is the closest.
I think you could say that one. A great description that I would say too is, remember, it's not just the story or the characters, it's also the writing work, right? Like, what was very difficult was to learn the craft. Like, I've spent so many years on actual writing, and like you said, character development. How does the story flow? Studying that and how other people did that was some of the hardest stuff for me, because hey, even though I know fitness or I'm speaking on things, but to be able to write that it's engaging for someone, that was really hard. And some of the fight scenes, some of the, you know, the way this guy talks. Here's a funny one, is a lot of people say to me, oh my God, Martin, I never heard you curse before. And I'm like, well, you still did it. That's the character. Like, that's this isn't me. Just like I say, like, Stephen King doesn't kill people, right? But yet he writes about these characters that do. And I don't know, it was just something that had to come out. And here's the crazy story too. I had no publisher, I had no agent. I'm not known for this space, but I submitted it, and they thought it was so good. That's how it got there. So like Charlie said, hey, this is hardcover, that they believe in it. This took years to get to this point, and I got book 2, 3, 4, 5 in my, you know, wheelhouse ready to go, but I got to move this book.
And somewhere in between those 2, 3, 4, and 5, we have already made some inroads to see if this can actually become a movie, which I absolutely intend to be in. I was almost in one of the Batmans. Of course, it would have been as an extra, but it didn't work out. But I'm gonna be in this, and I'm gonna have a speaking role.
Hey, I'll if we make that happen,
we're all gonna be in it.
Yeah,
we're all gonna be in it.
And but it's ultimately, I guess, one of the neat things too, and talking about this. Hey guys, remember, people, like Charlie said, what we start with, people are multifaceted, where you can there's a lot of layers to people, you know, and I don't think you always get them. Now, hey, I'll say this, Jim Miller, the UFC fighter with the most fights, most wins in UFC history, I've been training him since before he was even a UFC fighter, and hey, he had a musculoskeletal issue going on, and hey, he's the first guy I call, and Charlie talked him through stuff, and boom, he's feeling better from those things. There is that layer, that's the layer we know, but then there's these other ones where if I see something Marvel, or I see a hero thing, or something like that, he's gonna be the one that gets that photo. And same deal, hey, I'm this coach or I'm this fitness guy, but hey, I could be this writer guy too. And I guess I'm spinning it for the listener. Hey, what other layers do you have? Because they're all valuable, right? And why not try to make them all awesome?
Yeah, so I find myself smiling because, again, I'm very not only happy for this book, but that we can sit here and talk about something other than people might expect us to be talking about.
Yeah, that we don't have to talk about dry needling or some new lifting tech. Yeah, I think, actually, you know what's funny though too, and I'll be honest, I think once you exhaust a certain area so much, your brain is set to always be learning and find new things. Hey, we've spent 30 years in one thing. Like, it's good to get excited about being a student again in others, and that's what this was. It was like, wow, I'm learning how to write. This is really pushing me. Like, hey, am I doing a good job? I like being that student. So I was just at an event in New York City called Thriller Fest, and I was an attendee. You know what I mean? It was almost like being at one of these events. It was like I was starting at rock bottom again.
Oh,
you know,
I love that.
Yeah,
I love sitting in the back of the room. Nobody knows who I am, which is very common in the physical therapy, continuing education space. Which I'm probably more known in fitness. Anyway, that's there's something to that, from being the small fish in a big pond.
Or eternal student, right? Like, always be learning. So that would be my challenge, everybody. That the book represents that for everybody. Like, what's something you haven't done or you always wanted to? This thing, I had this character sitting inside of me like 30 years. Man. Like, it's been something I've been talking about forever, and then I just finally did it. And that, hey, what's sitting inside of you that you know you could do? Hey, don't. Here's what I wrote at the very end, the first line, which is pretty interesting, is when I was doing the acknowledgments, is I said, man, it's bittersweet that it took one of my best friends getting cancer to finally pull this character out of me, right? Like, so don't wait till things are left unsaid or something bad happens. Why not go do something good faster? Yeah. So I wish I would have done it 30 years ago, but second best time is now.
Yeah, but that's how creativity gets stimulated sometimes. And maybe some of the wild movies or songs, like what comes out of somebody's head, can be kind of freaky sometimes. But
this one's gonna shock you. Like, remember, if you like thriller novels, if you are into action, I like to say it's almost like, hey, if you like Fight Club, or you really enjoy a kind of like mystery or a little bit of sci-fi stuff, maybe even it's pretty ironic, a Michael Crichton, because Crichton is one of my favorite guys. If you like a Crichton, he's wearing the Jurassic Park shirt. This will be your jam, and I would challenge you to check it out. It's on Amazon, and man, anybody that gets it going, I need to get people behind this, so we do get that.
Yeah, movie. We got to get that movie.
Get yours today.